He was so cute back then. And I was like, whoa. Well, this, there were four people backstage. This is when the Dead weren't in they were in their low point in their popularity.
Right?
They were all from Maine and all knew Audrey. And one of them was my friend. And she came up to me and she whispered in my ear and she said, if I saw Bobby checking you out, if if you leave Bobby alone, I'll fix you up with Brent. I said, okay. So the next thing you know, I'm riding in the limo with Bobby and Brent and my friend and me. And Brent and I are making out, and her and Bobby are making out, and we're doing lines of Coke, and we're drinking champagne. And we get to the hotel, and Brent took me up to his room, and we get to the door, and he goes, don't tell the rest of the guys in the band, but I have a girl back home in California, and I'm loyal to her. I said, oh, I go, that's awesome. I go, really? And he goes, really? And he goes, do you like Myers Rum and Coke? Do you like peanut M&Ms? Do you like Pac-Man? And I was like, yes, all three. And he goes, okay, come on in. So he had all these red Solo cups, these red plastic cups, the big ones, the 16 ounces, filled quarters, peanut M&Ms, and he had all these bottles of Myers rum and big bottles of Coca-Cola and big things of ice. And he was like, he mixed me a drink. He said, grab some peanut M&Ms and some quarters, and we're going downstairs to the lobby to play Pac-Man. Yeah, and we did that for the whole tour. We hung out. We were like best friends. In Ohio, Sarah Arena, and I think it was like, let's see, it was probably like 80 or 81.
And you threw your medicine bag on stage and then just left your boyfriend and all your shit.
Proud.
That's wild.
It took me on tour with them.
Wow. Honey, that's wild stuff.
Every morning I would meet Phil. That first night I went to Phil's room and we hung out. And I was like talking his ear off because I was so high. And he's like, Ingrid, he goes, you know what? He goes, if there ever was a Ramble on Road, you're her. But you're not boring. He goes, it's like you're channeling the Akashic Records or something. He was so impressed with me. Yeah, so that night, you know, I hung out with him. And then the next morning he said, meet me for breakfast in the lobby at the restaurant. So I met him for breakfast. And he said, order whatever you want. So I ordered Eggs Benedict because it was my favorite. And there wasn't a Four Seasons in Ohio, but there was on the whole rest of the tour. But the Eggs Benedict there was pretty good. And he gave me 2 backstage passes and 2 free tickets. And he said, what you do, you trade these 2 tickets for a ride to the show. And then give the other backstage pass to a pretty girl because we have enough guys backstage. That's what I did for the whole tour.
Wow.
I found 2 guys that needed tickets and they had a really nice car and they would just feed me to the next show, you know, and then I'd ride in the limo back to the hotel and then they'd pick me up at the hotel the next day and we'd go to the next show.
That's so cool. Ingrid, this is so stupid, but do me a favor and tell me one more time how it started.
What started?
Describe it to me one more time about how you left your what?
Boyfriend and all my stuff in the crowd, all my warm stuff, because it was winter tour. Pretty much see-through, dewy, like white, you know, like little spaghetti straps. And I went to all the hotels like that with that little dress on and my bare feet.
Wow.
And nobody said a word to me for the 80s with Jerry and Brent. It was awesome. It was a pretty fun tour.
Honey, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that with me.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, rap is not music, for one thing. I mean, it isn't music, you know, it's talking.